Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo has been diagnosed with a right wrist sprain, SPR, an injury he suffered against the Chicago Bulls a couple of days ago. A sprain is an injury to the ligament. Ligaments are strong bands of fibrous tissue which connect bone to bone. Let's go through the anatomy. The wrist joint is composed of the forearm bone on the thumb side, the radius, the forearm bone on the pinky side, the ulna, and 8 bones called the carpal bones. The bones of the palm are called the metacarpals, and the phalanges are the bones of the fingers. The fingers are numbered 1 through 5, starting with the thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are several muscles. Muscles move the bones around, and they use tendons to move bones around. Tendons are strong bands of fibrous tissue which connect muscle to bone. And the overlying structure is the skin. He was not diagnosed with a hand strain, STR, which would imply a stretching of a muscle or tendon beyond its normal functional capacity. He was diagnosed with a wrist sprain, which is a stretching of one or more of the ligaments that connect bone to bone beyond its normal functional capacity. During the game, he was seen to be holding the lateral side of his wrist, the thumb side. He was taken into the locker room, certainly for x-rays of the wrist, to rule out a fracture. A fracture is a break in one of the bones. One of the most serious wrist injuries is an injury to the scaphoid bone, which is one of the wrist bones on the thumb side. The scaphoid has a poor blood supply, so a contusion, a bruise, or fracture of this bone needs a higher level of management than a wrist sprain. And many times, an occult, a hidden fracture of the scaphoid can masquerade as a wrist sprain. Certainly, an athlete of his caliber most certainly underwent a CT scan, which is advanced imaging, usually in x-rays, to look at the bones, and certainly an MRI, which looks at the soft tissues of the wrist, such as the muscles and the tendons. His world-class medical team has diagnosed him with a wrist sprain, SPR, which is an injury or stretching to the ligament. Hopefully he will recover soon. We wish him and his family well and a speedy recovery.